Good morning and welcome back to Good Knit Kisses. I'm your host, Kristen, and I hope you are doing well today. Oh my goodness, today we have sorry, camera's over here. Hello, this is Kristen with Good Knit Kisses, and I am here for your knitting and loom knitting and crochet needs. Mostly needle and loom knitting though. Let me get this light out of the way. Wow, it's so dark. It's so bright. Anyway, I am here today broadcasting for some loom knitting today. This is like a three-peat. This is the third time in a row. We'll be back to some more needle stuff next week. I have got some product to show you today. This is a new distributor, and it's a new global distributor, and a lot of people who watch me globally are always actually asking to buy things from me, in which case I say I don't sell looms. I have another resource for you. This is, I present all these things to you because I want you guys to know where the resources are, right? Again, this is another one where I am just, this is a live unboxing. She has sent these to me. She has not paid me. I have not paid her. I'm just presenting you with what she has. Okay. So I'm so glad to show you today. This is from I Love Looming, and I always have to disclose all that stuff up front. I just want you to know that. So anyway, so this is purely as I get it out of the box. I have had these for a while now, waiting to be able to put them on camera. So I'm so happy to open and reveal them to you. I have like slid open the packages just to make sure that things are probably okay in there. I really haven't pulled them fully out. So I'm just as excited to see them. I love it when someone's actually unboxing something genuinely. So I try to do that. So anyway, yeah, I opened them up just to make sure there wasn't like, something massive like wrong. So anyway, I'm so glad you're here today. Our Australians, if you are joining me later from Australia, please keep tuned in because this is for you, but it's also for people anywhere to give a competitive price. Normally I don't try and put manufacturers together, but these are actually distributors of looms. They don't actually make themselves, so I don't really have a problem with it because it's like comparing, can I buy this at this store versus this store? They are different businesses, yes. So this product compares to the Knit UK looms. Knit UK, I believe they just used to sell these looms and then they added a whole bunch of things on, which I was made aware of when I started researching and comparing what the two companies are carrying. So that was interesting. And Knit UK obviously comes out of the UK, and they are these looms that are like Chinese looms and stuff, and they fit this market because all the nifty knitters are no longer made anymore, right? Well, they also were these larger gauges, and the larger gauges, they don't fit, the old adage, we pick up one of those knitting looms and then someone says, I don't like it because you can't use one strand of worsted, which is what it says to use in the box, right? And then you're like, oh, well, do I use two strands? Well, no, because if you use the E-wrap like they tell you, which they really should not keep telling, I wish people would stop telling you E-wrap in instructions only, but then you'd have to use 3 strands, right? Who wants to do that? So they have a small gauge option in having these, we're going to call them Knit UK looms for now, just because that's what some people who are loom knitters understand them as. But I Love Looming is now a company who can sell them, and they're out of Australia, and so they've got lots of affordable options. So I'm going to show you those things today. First, I want to say hi and welcome to everybody. Hello, as y'all been chiming in as I jumped on here. So I'm going to scroll back and say hello to everyone. Hey, Nikki, you're the first I see you joined. Hi, Tanisha. And Chris caught me live today. She missed me last week a little bit. Hey, Heather and Cheryl. Hey, Carol and Susan. Hey, Christine. You're in Florida. How are you? You can't stay, but want to say hi. Well, when you come back, I hope you are doing well in Florida. Everyone, you're in our hearts, from Texas to Florida. Love you guys. And everywhere else is just crazy madness. And much love to you. Be sure and check in here and tell us how you're doing, okay? Hey, Katie. She's from Canada. Hey, Carol, my other Canadian cutie. Um, hey, Jennifer, Susan, Elizabeth Keating Weeks. Hello, I'm great today. How are you? Hey, yeah, Chris wants to know, Christine, are you safe? So I hope you check back in with us. Rosario. Yeah, heard back at one of my friends, Vanessa Wilson with the Crafty Gemini. She is safe. She just checked herself in safe today. Her and her family live in Florida. And if you don't know her videos, she's the Crafty Gemini on YouTube, and she teaches how to quilt and sew and all kinds of crafts and fun stuff, homesteading stuff. And she also crochets. Pretty cool. She and I were teaching on Knit and Crochet Now show. So she says that she is safe. Hey, Alicia and Heather Hinkle. Hi, Charlotte. Hey, Joanne. She's jumped on. Hi, Ellie and Robin. Hi, Katie. Steven. My sweet YouTube captioner. How are you, man? Hey, Wanda. Nancy Church. Hi, how are you? Hi, Nicole and Martha. Oh, always love finding out about things. When, where, and and who is first looming. Who is the first looming? I don't know who the first loomer was. Hey, good morning, Joanne. Eva and Pearl and Doreen. Hi, Kathy. Emerald. Hey, Brenda Sisson. And I have got to get you your loom back because I need to get your loom back. Hey, Michelle and Pearl. Oh, Chris caught me last week, but on Monday, but she caught off guard with all the broadcasts. Yeah, if you missed me last week, you have to go back and tune in. I did a bunch of things adding pom-poms. We had a pom-pom party. So whether you knit or crochet or loom knit, I had a bunch of different things you can add pom-poms to. And oh my goodness, would you believe I missed a pom-pom? I actually had this brown muskrat one that I thought I lost or it wasn't sent. And I'm like, here it is. It's right here. This looks like a tribble. We were talking about tribbles. All right, so I'm going to jump on Hello. Oh, hey, Trish in Canada. Yeah, Jennifer says, Chris, I'm with you. I missed them too, and it stinks. I know. Sorry. They were so random but fun. I couldn't work them into a Monday. And Mondays, I think I'm just going to keep with the Monday schedule because it just works out so much better for me to be able to get these videos out to you. So anyway, without much further ado, I want to get back into the looms. So I'm going to be flipping the camera here in a second. But I want to direct you to, I'm going to hit the little button and just paste this on the camera. You don't want to see my studio, do you? Trying to hit the comment button. All right, so let me put the address on here. I gotta delete a bunch of other text. I love the massive delete button that just drags. Okay, post. Okay, I just put the link in the comments below. Oh, Heather, great one. Yeah, listening to me as you clean. Awesome. I do that too with broadcasts. I just stick those earbuds in and put the phone in my pocket and I just go. Awesome. Okay, so by the way, PETA and the owner of I Love Looming, she may start carrying my book. So we may be able to work out a deal where she has my book. That would be amazing. Although I can't sign them because I don't distribute them. She would be able to get them from the wholesaler for me. To sell. So if you're if you're an Australian or wherever you want to do that, you're welcome to. They're also distributed all over worldwide. But if you want to get them and put them in the post with your looms, you could totally do that later. So all right. Oh, and one announcement before I start. A quick update that's not on her website. She is going, she's now got the okay. She's waiting on her looms, but she's going to start selling the Cindy Wood craft loom, the premium knitting looms. So there'll be a limited selection. She will have that information on her website. Just want to get that right out of the way and let you know. She has some other things that are going to be coming to her site. So just kind of keep your ears perked and watch for that. Later on, PETA will be looking in the comments below. So I'm just going to get some housekeeping stuff out of the way. PETA will be looking in the comments below. If you have a question for her, now please don't leave email addresses or phone numbers or stuff in here. But if you have a specific question that other people would like answered, just leave it here in the comments. If you want to get a link to her group, or a group that she's active in, and she can answer more questions about the looms, just ask it. And then when we have that, we'll have her or someone else reply to you. So does that sound good? Y'all give me hearts if you're excited about I Love Looming. All right, so I'm going to get out my packages. Yeah, so, oh, you got your, oh, yes. Oh, and loom knitters, while I have you, someone just mentioned the stitch along for next week. We have the stitch along for the Burnett stitch along starts next Monday. Joanne Gay of Good Knit Kisses is going to be loom knitting along and converting. And then as she has some stuff when we chat, I'll probably on these Monday calls or on these Monday broadcasts, I'll be showing you some things. So we'll see about next Monday, but definitely the times after that, we'll start rolling those out. So if you're loom knitting and you want to stitch along, I would love to have you because, man, you know what? We got to show these crocheters that we can get this stuff done too, right? And we want to participate online and be like, loom knitting rocks, right? I mean, come on, can I get an amen? And if you're joining me and you don't loom knit, why haven't you? And hey, and if you're gonna needle knit, great, join us too. I would love to have you. Yeah, and then, yeah. All right, cool. All right, so I've got this big old box. Look at this box. I've got this box to open, and I've got this bag to open, and I've got this bag to open. So I'm about to get started. The first one though, I want to show you not on my table because I know what this is and it won't like show on the camera very well on my table because it's too, there's not enough contrast, but you'll see it here. All right, here we go. So, oops, let me zoom up here. Oh man, wouldn't you know, I got something in my eye. Oh my gosh, right on camera. I wouldn't be able to fiddle with that with my hands full here in a second. Okay. All right. This is real. This is live. All right, here we go. I have opened this up. This is, now it's not a loom, but it goes with it. Look at this. Look at this bag they carry. I know that this isn't at the other store. Look at this bag. I'm not sure if this is the medium, so Peter's gonna have to tell me, but I think this is the, I have to find out if this is the medium or not. But this is a clear bag that you can put your tools in and some yarn. I mean, look at this thing. Like, it's got a big side pouch. Look at this. Look how big that is. And then it's got this middle pouch. Unzip it. It's got two zippers. All right, two zippers. And it's all clear. Oh, I'm jerking the microphone thing, so it's making my... I'm all excited. Okay, and then it has 6 of these snaps. All right, so I can put my hand in here. That's how big they are. They're not like little tiny envelope things. This is a mama big hand, 6-foot girl. All right, so, and then I've got 6 of these. So I could put all these on here. Hey, Kathy. Kathy's joining me. The website to order is ilovelooming.com. It is not, I don't have an affiliate link. I don't have anything to do with it other than I'm telling you about it and I just got product sent. So if you're just joining me, just showing it off. What I like about this bag, let me just tell you, I like the 2 zippers. I like that I could switch it to one side or another if I put yarn inside, like if it was an extra big ball, but I could put an extra big ball on the outside here, like one of those big ones. I'm thinking, you want me to put a Bernat in here? Let's see if I can put it, this is total live. I have no idea if it's going to fit in here or not. Let's see if I can put a Bernat big ball in. All right. Oh, let's put it right side up. I mean, if I'm going to do it, let's do it right. All right. Oh, the back of the snap got in the way of the label. Shut the front door, and oh, look, OMG, look at this. Ah! Silence. Look at that. This is those big balls. That's awesome. And I can put all kinds of loom still in here. Okay, but the other thing I love about this is, you know those little flimsy handles you have on stuff? Not these. These are good handles. You know how you could be carrying your stuff or put your arm through, and then the this stuff is kind of cutting on you if it's a little too heavy. Anyway, I'm loving this bag. I don't know if this is a medium or a large, but I'm thinking I would get both. Honestly, because you know how many projects we have. But you know what? This would make a really great way of organizing it on your shelf. You can see clearly the project you've got going on. So that's pretty sweet. Anyway, I'm going to take this ball out. Now we'll leave the ball in. That's really cool. Okay. And then the other side does not have a pouch. However, it also has, look at this. It's got a strap. So we've got our strap. Okay. Now the strap fits on this part, not this part. So you can be holding onto this and have your yarn coming out this flap here. I'm excited. Who likes that? Give some love. All right, I'm going to flip this camera here. Let me get my trash out of the way. I want you to see how they're packaged, okay? That's another reason why I want to unwrap it online. Because if I pulled it out of the package, you'd be like, but how does she ship it, right? Is she ship it conservatively? Is it knocked down? Is it all out and she puts a ton of stuff in it, right? Okay, so yeah. I also did some math for you guys because I know you'd be like, well, let me compare. What is this in conversion rate, right? I've even got some conversion rate. Now, I converted it to US dollars, mind you. If you go to ilovelearning.com, you'll see the Australian price. If you will log in, get your register. I went down to register, but I actually hit the actual register button. It jumps to like a WordPress thing. And so you just register, and then there's like I think they send you an email. And also, if you put stuff in your cart to test it out, a few hours later or something, if you've forgotten about it, she'll actually send you a reminder email. It's like an automated kind of thing. So anyway, let me flip the camera here and get this. Hey, Kathy, I see you hopping on. Chris says, I hoard bags as much as I hoard yarn. Honey, me too. My daughter was just teasing me about it the other day. She thought she was really going to tease me, and I'm like, yeah. I have too many projects. I need these bags. It's a need, not a want. All right, let me flip it. Oh gosh. All right. Okay. I know there's nothing here right now. Let me get my lighting. Oh, I had to reach really far for that. All right. So let me get this iPad on here for a second and I'm punching in my password here. All right, so this is the I Love Looming site here, and I have this. Do you guys want to see the S loom first? Oh, it skipped over, and I've got the flower loom. That I know she sent some of these things to me. Now, I do want to give some kind of quick housekeeping stuff. So all of this stuff is available now that you find, except for to ship. It won't be available to ship for another 5 weeks, the Infinity Loom set. However, you could place the order. Just know you're going to have a delay with this particular one. This one, right? It keeps doing that. Come on. Let's go back to that picture. Okay, this one right here, this S loom. So this one is just a little bit delayed right now because she's waiting on a shipment. So again, this is brand new. Okay, and so these are the products you have, and then she will have more. So when you log in, you're going to see the Australian prices, but when you put in your address and all that stuff, it's supposed to change. So I can log in here in a second. I've written all these prices down, and I can tell you if it changes. But what I did do is, because I think what it does is it takes off this 10% Australian tax when I'm logged in, and so this reflects it. Oh yes, it does, because I know that this round loom pack, it says $29.50 on it. And I know when I ran myself an order, like acting like I was going to order this and a long loom set, it showed it in US dollars as $26.82. So it takes off that Australian tax because I'm not an Australian. So, which is awesome, which is how they say that there. So what I did is I did a cost comparison of a round loom pack and the long loom set. Okay, so and then and I did that. So let's, without further ado, I know y'all want me to get into the loom, so let's go. All right, Kristen, shut up and show me. All right, here it is. The first thing that comes out is This is the Wonder Knitter. Now, this is what she has on this. One of the things that she has on the site. It's like the little knitting bees and stuff. It's got 6 pegs on it, and you can do multiple different things, accessories, and the tubes, and all that kind of stuff. So this is a anyway. This is something that can get into another yarn. Another time, but it has, I was just reading yarn. It can do thin yarn and thick yarn on it. So anyway, I'm reading and talking, and that's not a good combination. All right, let's pull this out. The next one I see is the Bloom Loom set. Now, this one is different from your regular Bloom Loom in that it has a smaller gauge to it. Let's see how many. I do not know how many pegs it has, so let's just count. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And I've seen these online where people use them as a booty loom, like for making baby booties. So it's not just for flowers. Kathy says, I have the bag and I put all my stuff plus a full-size 35mm camera with telephoto lens. What? That's awesome. Kathy, by the looks of it, does it look like I have a medium or a large? I have to go back to my notes and read a ton of notes with PETA, so I don't know. Okay, so this is this loom here. I'm just gonna look at the first one because I like to see quality and what it comes with, right? And you guys do too. So you get the loom tool and a tapestry needle, of course the loom, and then you've got your instructions, and it's teaching you how to make a flower. And so that's the basic flower instructions, and the back does not have anything on it. So it's just strictly showing flowers, although you can find all kinds of patterns and things online that have 20 pegs. All right, I'm doing the peg pull test, right? Oh, yeah, I'm trying real hard. All right. Versus the other Bloom Loom that we all know and love with 12 pegs. These are not slipping out. Like on that other one, you would see them falling out, right? So, okay, so this one here is, I've got, oh, all right, let me get this going here. This is, all right, am I in camera? Okay. This one is, 1, 2, 3/8. No, it's right at 1/2 inch. That's right at 1/2 inch. So if I go center to center, that's a 1/2 inch setting. So that is regular gauge. That falls under the regular gauge. And if you have my book, you'll see, or I've got a small version of this on our website. And my book here, I've got a little chart here, and it shows you that a 1/2 inch falls into regular gauge, which is close between an 8 to 10 US size 8 to 10 needle, or 5mm to 6mm needle, and you can use a US 4 to 5 weight yarn, and it gets you 3 to 4 stitches per inch. So that is how we do that. That's always a quick reference for me, is what I do. All right, so that is the Bloom Loom. I'm thinking that's really nice. Let me look at the plastic here. It's nice and smooth. It does have like the little line that you're kind of used to. It's got a starter peg. So if you like those starter pegs, that's really good when you're doing the drawstring cast on, the modified drawstring cast on. I like having that there. So that's it right there. Pretty good. One piece. All right, that's that. What else is next? And she also sent me the Zoomy Loom. It's not 2 zooms, it's just one. Zoomy Loom. This is a newer loom out, knitting loom set. And it has a hook and a needle. It's a 20-piece set. It comes with these different pieces here, and then you assemble it together. You've got your hook, your tapestry needle, and then this little clamshell design here. And by the way, the current exchange rate, if you're in the US, you're going to see that price that I talked about. And the exchange rate is 0.80. So you would take your price you see in Australian dollars into US dollars, it's 0.80. So it's 20% less price. Plus, so you saw the 29.50 or whatever, and then I said that my rate without the Australian tax rate on there. Man, this is tight. Hang on. Good gravy. There we go. Well, it wasn't slipping out. Anyway, so 26.82 is what that ended up becoming after I took the Australian rate off, and then you take that number off, that 0.80 for the rate exchange, and so it becomes much cheaper, and it actually ends up being cheaper than the Knit UK, and I'll show you a little math problem later on. So this is what this loom is. This is what they call, that she's got on her side as Zoomy loom, and one set of this is the same as one set of the rounds or one set of the long looms. Looks like, and I've never pulled one of these out before. I've seen them before, so I'm not going to really have any answers, but let me just go ahead and measure because I want to know. All right, so I've got, excuse my bifocals, I'm looking at this funny. It looks like it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. Okay, that's 5/8 measured, and so 5/8 is going to be next size up in the large gauge. Okay, 5/8 and 11/16 fit in the large gauge category, and that is a 10 to 13, a US 10 to 13 needle, or 6 millimeter to 9 millimeter, and that is a US 5 to 6 yarn weight. Which is 2 to 3 stitches per inch. Now you can use other yarn weights on them. That's just a standard to get that matching the other needle sizes. Anyway, so you're just going to take these, and it looks like there's a female and male end, and it looks like we've got a hole here, and I just slide that in and it locks into place. And then there's different configurations available. It looks like I can build my own miniature long loom here, so let's just have a little bit of fun. I feel like a kid in school. This flap keeps trying to close on me, so sorry if I'm having a little bit of a off-camera issue. This thing keeps doing this to me and hitting my hand. Oh look, it's a baby loom. It's like a little baby long loom. Oh, look at this. Oh my gosh, that's adorable. It looks like it can knit evenly in the round. Look at that. Aww. That'd be great for kids. So that's really cool. So you have the Bloom Loom, which is the regular gauge. Then you have this large gauge one. Okay. And then this is the instructions that it comes with. So it's showing you some configurations here. Looks like I did, they've got different colors on here, but it looks like I made this little tiny one here without even knowing it. And then it's giving you scarf instructions, weaving techniques, so it looks like you can weave. That's pretty cool, showing you how to connect the panels together. The font is pretty small, so if you've got eyes like mine, you're gonna need those glasses. Yeah, and it's got weaving here on the back too. That's pretty cool. So that is that set. If you're interested in that, I'm gonna move this aside. Okay, next one. Did you guys like that? If you liked it, hit that love button so we see it, or the like. If you didn't, don't make the angry face. Okay, this is what's left in the bag. Now see, it's all knocked down. This is the round loom pack. Now, this looks like, here's my initial impression. It's got its own bag. I love that. At first I go, oh man, I have to put all the pegs in, but then I think, oh man, I'm so glad they shipped it this way because it didn't break a peg in shipping. Have you ever had to get your stuff shipped to you and the peg is broke, and then you're like, now I got to follow up with the manufacturer? Well, looks like you don't have to do that because they're all out. So Looks like all the pegs match their loom. I'm just gonna pull these on out. Let's see what is in here. If you are a juggler, your work is already ready for you. Oh, I know, I'm silly, sorry. All right, so we've got all our bags of stuff. Okay, oh, and it's got a little styler in here too. So it's got the little empty tube for you if you like to do the styling technique of wrapping your yarn. I'll tell you, these are a little hard because they're real long like this, but you can use a long chenille stick pipe cleaner thing or something to get it down in there. All right, so we've got all of our pegs. I am not going to be boring and count these out for you, but it looks like there's going to be enough pegs. So I will take out a couple here. Which color do I want to do? You can probably see the green real well. So they've got the starter peg. These are nice and small and smooth and lightweight. When the Knit UKs came out, I actually tested them and made comments, and I actually think it was a Knit UK people, but they're using a different corporate name, and I had given them some feedback, and so this looks like part of that feedback. But anyway, so it looks nice and smooth. It does have that little line on it, and it's a very much an oval shape. Let's see. Some of them show online, they have those other color pegs. I like having them all the same color, but all right, let's see how easy they are to get in. So this is what the pegs look like. Okay, so you can see they have this little square top here. So it's thin on the sides. You see that? And then it's bigger from the front and the back to keep that yarn on, right? Yeah, it looks like the Nifty Knitter set colors, but it's going to be multiple gauges. And I say that because you could choose between two sizes. Actually, you could make your own size because there's no ones in here. Like I could maybe skip 2 pegs, you know, like on the Martha Stewart loom, you can't, and on other looms, you can't necessarily do that because some of the pegs cause it to connect, and you have to do that. But you could even, I've done some things where I've like taken and skip like 2 or 3 pegs just to get a funky gauge, right? And then not have to worry about the other pegs. You could totally do that. So when you put these in, you want to make sure that the groove side is towards you, not towards the inside at the loom. And we're going to take this and put it in. I'm going to use my fingers. That looks like it snapped right in. Let's try and pull it out. Okay, it does pull out, which is good because if you have to reconfigure it, but it did take some strength, so it didn't fall out. Let's put a few in and see how they do. And I'm also going to measure the gauge for you. Don't worry, I'm not going to sit and fill up this whole thing. That's a little harder. I think I'm going to do this. Work smarter, not harder. Let's see if I can do this. Just don't trap your finger in the other. Yeah, I would say it's better than that loom, Maurice. Because, well, I mean, as far as like the pegs falling out and that kind of thing, you can keep adding on to that set, you know. It's all in the, you know, it just depends on what you're making. It depends on what you like to make often. First of all, it passes that test. Second, let's see if I'm going to pull this. This is my little, here's a jiggle test. Jiggle and a pull, a bushel and a peck, and a kiss on the neck or hug around the neck. Anyway, all right, I'm going to do this, the harder pull. Ready? Okay. All right, so that does come out. All right, let's measure. It should be 3/8. It's gonna confirm. Hang on, I gotta get me some drink. Here, I've got the coffee here. Oh, okay. I don't want to cough on camera here. All right, so I see 1, 2, 3/8. I can go to the middle and count it, but it's easier to read it when I go to the edge of that, that groove there. So it's 3/8. And then so that's from one peg to the next. When you use all the holes, let's say I skip a peg, visually, let's just give this to you. So 3/8 is a small gauge, and I can show you what weights that works with, if you guys like that. If you guys like me showing you the weights and the needle conversion, hit that love button for me right now, just so I can visually see. Okay, so I'm going to see what this one is when you do the bigger spacing. It's let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, my throat. Sorry. Where was I? I'm sorry. It's 3/4. Okay. It's 3/4. Oh, good. I'm seeing the love buttons. Okay. Let's get my book back out. Ooh, let's get some coffee first. So sorry. I'm going to do that on the microphone. Yeah, I keep this in here. It's so handy. I do. I love going right to it. Okay, first is first. We've got 3/8. So we come down here and we see that 3/8 falls in, if it's 5/16, 3/8, or 7/16, it's going to be an SG loom, which is a small gauge. And down here it has it all. So if you're not familiar with this chart. So small gauge is also a US size 5, anywhere from a 5 to 8. In millimeters, it's 3.75 to 5 millimeter. I go all the way over here. And for yarn weight recommended on those needles is a US weight yarn 2 to a 4. And then it's 4 to 5 stitches per inch. Now, if you're wondering, I have some other stuff in parentheses. UK, AU, the United Kingdom and Australia, these are how they call their weighted yarn. So their yarn would be a 2 to 4 ply yarn, an 8 ply, and a DK weight would all fall on that category that you could use easily. Okay, now that's using all the pegs filled, right? And let's go to the 3/4. So let's zoom on down to this one. 3/4, 13/16, 7/8, and 15/16 is an XLG, which is a extra large gauge. That is a US needle size 13 to 15, which is 9 millimeter to 10 millimeter. Go all the way over here. And the yarn you'd use is a US weight 6 to 7. In UKAU, it would be 12 ply or chunky. And you get 1.5 to 3 stitches per inch. If you're talking crochet, it's like a M to an N plus. Okay, so they've covered, the looms that we've gotten so far have covered anywhere from small gauge, which is this one, regular gauge, which had this one, large gauge, which was, oh, it's on the floor. This one, zooming loom. And then we had this one, which is extra large gauge. So that's covering the gamut. All right, so what do we think of this one? Do we like this set? And do we like the bag? I like that it has the bag. I do. And then I always keep these bags here. I would probably like count them all out and write how many pegs you have on the bag. And also write how many pegs on the back here. Take a moment, if you've got like one of those tape machines or something like where you know it's not going to rub off, put something on here that tells you how many pegs it is, like, and then write that gauge that I talked about. Because when you look at different patterns, you're going to start to notice people put the gauge, what that is, put the fraction on there, put the SG and all that stuff. If we'll start using that gauge, EFG, extra fine gauge, FG for fine gauge, SG for small gauge, RG for regular gauge, LG for large gauge, XLG for extra large gauge, and jumbo. If you start writing things like that on there, when you see patterns, you're going to start to identify that when you look at your looms. Okay, and then you'll know. And you can even write, just use this video as a reference, and you can even write down what needle I recommended. So if you'll share this video in your groups or even on your page, it'll pop up in your memories and you'll have it later. If you're a Facebooker, if you're a YouTuber, because we're gonna put this on YouTube later on. be sure and you can put it in a playlist or save it somehow. Thank you for joining me. If you're coming in on replay, I'm so glad that you're here as well. You can still ask your questions down below. We'll see if PETA comes and answers them here. She also has a YouTube channel, I believe. And yeah. Oh, and I missed it. There are some directions in here. These are just general directions. Now, of course, she doesn't, at ilovelooming.com, she does not make her directions or looms. But this is how it comes. It's got a round loom series, just showing how to make a standard hat. If you're a loom knitter, you probably made one of these hats before. If you're not a loom knitter, this is how you would make a basic simple hat. And it shows you how to do a hemmed brim. Okay, so it doesn't roll on you. And yeah, and that's it, and how to tie it off. So it's got all the steps in that. And I am using this bag to put my flower loom in. Look at that. I like these bags. I don't know about y'all. And then it has the little slidey thing, whatever that's called, a little zipper tab. All right, so let's get to the big guy here. All right, got another package that I'm opening up, trying to get it out of my, oh, look at that, look at that. Trying to get around all my equipment here. All right, that's some good stuffer there. Look. And then let me get the other one out. Oh, because this is a big box. All right, let's save this and put this one aside for a second. So these are the long looms. Again, this one is going shipped. It's shipped knocked down like the other one, so you're not gonna have to worry about it falling apart, breaking in travel. Oh, I gotta move this. If you just joined me, they're also going to be selling Cindywood looms in a limited selection, so you'll have to visit her website when she gets that all ready. That's a new announcement. She's also selling the Knit and Purl Tool kit. Knit and Purl Tool in the wooden handles. These are the ones that we showed last week from Kathy, but not the resin ones. She's got the wood handled ones, and this will help you knit and purl. So if you are in Australia, overseas, or you're ordering these from her, even if the US, you can order from her from there and have them sent to, or you can order from Kathy, either way. And there we go. So that's knitandpurltool.com, spell out and if you want to catch that. Okay, first impressions. I love that this is in a bag. Have you ever had a long loom bag? I haven't. It's got a neat little handle on it. I think I may be able to keep this. I'm not sure that this handle will last, but it's just a first impression. All right, let's pull these out. They look like the same kind of pegs as the other. So again, when you go to their website, this is in Australia. However, the conversion rate is cheaper if you're coming to the US. So these actually do price out better than the Knit UK looms. So I'll go ahead and reveal some of my pricing to you. What I did is I did a set of long looms and round looms together, priced out together on both websites. Okay. And then I priced them out. What I did is I did everything with shipping, and then I took the number that they gave me, and don't be swayed, because on the Australian one it actually uses the $sign, but if you're in the US, you still have to convert that down. So you multiply it times 0.8, and then it gives you a further discount. So when you make your purchase on your MasterCard, Visa, or PayPal or whatever, that is going to, conversion rate is going to change that number as well. It's going to go up if you're in the US and you're buying the Knit UK looms, because the pound exchange rate is like $1.32. Okay, so it comes with the long loom, and that's current rates, obviously, as of this recording. So long loom series is going to give you all your instructions for knitting a basic scarf. It looks like this is just the figure 8 cast on, a twisted knit, twisted stocking knit. So it's got that kind of Y-shaped stitch. And then they're also showing how to single knit or flat panel, and circular knit, knitting in the round, and then double knit, knitting back and forth. And you can use thin or thick yarn on here, and it's reminding you of this. This is for both thin wool yarn and thick knitting yarn. Can be used universally if you want to knit with the thin wool yarn, you need to assemble the additional pegs in the additional holes with the help of a small hammer. Otherwise, if you would like to pull the pegs from the holes on the loom with the help of pinchers. So you're going to need something to pull them out. And I probably missed that direction in the last one. I was able to pull it out, but not everybody can do that. Anyway, so you've got your tools. That always comes with it. We've got our instructions. Let me just slide that back in here. Let's see how they work, and let's double check the measurements. Want to do the green again? Let's go red. We're going to go red. All right. So this one seems, actually this seems a little smoother, but you know, with plastic pieces, you never know. It does have that little seam on it, but it's pretty smooth. It is oval. Okay, so it's not as chunky as the others. It's lighter weight than the other. It seems like the torque on this is pretty good. I'm not seeing. This is about like the Nifty Knitter ones. I wish I had one in front of me. I think they were a little bit bulkier. But yeah, they've got the 2 end pegs on them, just like the old Nifty Knitters. But the difference is you can change the number of pegs on here, which you couldn't previously on the other ones. All right, let's do red. I feel like a red day here. All right. Oh, put my peg in correctly. We want to put that with the, yeah, put that groove facing out. But yeah, you could probably use a small hammer. It'd probably help you. Yep. All right. Let me just do every other one over here so I can measure both gauges easy. If you guys would be sure and chat while I'm doing this, if you'll kind of chat and pop in, like if you're in the States, if you're in Aussie, if you're in the UK, wherever you're from, Canada, and let me know. Be sure and know that if you're just joining me, ilovelooming.com, you have to register for it to take that Australian currency off. You got to register and put in your mailing address, put in your country, put in all that stuff. In order for it to, and then what I would do is I would actually like log out and then log back in, and then the rate should change for you. And I can kind of show you what the site looks like before and then after I sign in if you guys want me to. Okay, so let's check the numbers. All right, I'm gonna do the ones on the end here. This is 1, 2, 3/8. Same 3/8, so that's that small gauge. Come down here, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. Okay, so this falls into that 5/8 category. This goes into the large gauge, not the extra large gauge. So that is on the red. And that should be the same on these other ones, but let me check. If anybody has these, I mean, let's see. These holes all seem to kind of be the same. I don't want to have to pull them all out there. Okay, it looks like they all line up. Yeah, they all line up. Okay. So I don't think the gauge is going to change. So this one, again, 3/8 is going to be small gauge, which is a 5 to 8, a US 5 to 8 needle, or 3.75 millimeter to 5 millimeter. And then the recommended yarn for a small gauge would be US 2, 3, or 4 weight yarn. If you're UKAU, it's 2 to 4 ply, 8 ply, and DK weight for 4 to 5 stitches per inch. And then every other peg would fall in the 5/8, which is large gauge, which is a US size 10 to 13 needle, 6 millimeter to 9 millimeter. And then for the yarn, it'd be US 5 to 6, or the UKAU would be a 10 to 12 ply, an Aran or chunky weight. And that's 2 to 3 stitches per inch. So there you have it. You have all those. And then we have one more to show you Right now, she currently has selections to serve you for all the things that I've just shown you, except for this book. She doesn't have the book yet, but I'm using the book for reference right now. And then now I'm going to pull out the, by the way, it had the straw thing in it too. I think this other straw was from the other kit. So let me throw this in here, and I want to show you the next thing, which is the S-loom. Now, if you do not like putting blankets together, like panels, and sewing the panels together, that's really what those S-looms are for. I will tell you that S-looms are very, it depends on who you are, it depends on what you like, and you really don't know until you have one. So if you have a friend who's nearby, and not all of us do, but if you have a friend nearby who has one and you can try them out before you get them, I usually recommend doing that. You just know that it's something large that sits on your lap that you have to move around and manipulate, and it seems like it takes forever because you're working on one large blanket. You're not doing the small panels, so you're not getting that like with these. When you make, if you want to make a wide blanket out of these, you totally can, but you need to make the panel and make one again and again and again, and then you sew up the seams. Now with the tapestry needle, that can seem overwhelming, or some people lack the dexterity to use the needle like that. So if you aren't able to do that, a larger S-loom is what you want. So let me set this aside and we'll get one out. There's different ones on online, different manufacturers. This particular one is the Serenity loom. We also call it the Infinity loom. The directions inside are saying Serenity. Every time I hear that name, I think of Seinfeld. Serenity, no! Who misses Seinfeld? Okay, this one also comes with a bag, which is nice. All right, so this is what it comes with, the Serenity loom instructions, which is talking about E-wrap. Yay! One of the instructions is talking about flat stitch. Okay, and then the knit stitch, how to work that. It's a classic knit stitch and a purl stitch and basic bind off. What it doesn't talk about is the U knit stitch. The flat stitch is a dangerous stitch to learn. I think, unless you're doing socks, because you can get really tight on the flat stitch. So if you'll hold your yarn towards the back a little bit and give yourself some room, or if you do the flat and then kind of pull on that loop a little bit afterward, then you'll ease some of that tension. The problem is if you do one row of flat stitch and then you come back, sometimes it can be like super tight. And on a loom like this, it's got a lot of flexibility, and you could cause way too much torque and movement in your loom. So that's just a pre-warning on that. Okay, so my thoughts on this loom. It's long, it's thin, it is smooth, and it is lightweight. And compared to the wooden ones I have, yeah, it's easier to hold. I've never gotten one like this before, just because I'm kind of rough with my looms. So I've seen other people who love these, especially because they can't hold as much weight. And so I think it's just going to be a personal preference thing. Let's see. I think my kids may enjoy this a little bit more because it's too bulky. Oh, I just ripped that. The other ones are kind of bulky. The wooden ones I have, they can be heavy. All right. I love the color. Pink. All right. Oh, is that what Alicia just said? I just noticed Alicia said, I love the color. I'm looking up. I have to look way up to see your comments here. Okay, it does say use a small hammer, and I'm clearly not doing that. Let's see if I can. I'm using someone else's tools. Shh, be quiet. Don't tell. All right. There we go. I was just using this as leverage. I'm not really using a hammer. I'm just taking the flat part of something and putting my finger on it, and then I'm just pushing. So I don't know if you caught that. You probably did. Okay, so we've got our pick and our yarn. Can't even talk. Tapestry needle. Oh, sorry, I had to get me something to drink. Okay. And let's look at this gauge. This is, first things first, the smallest one is the 3/8, so definitely 3/8 the small gauge, and then the larger one is 3/4. So you've got the extra large gauge that you can do on this one and the small gauge. So that is what it is. And you've got room on the back of this part that you could write both numbers on. If you want to know the 3/4 again, especially if you just joined me, be sure and rewind and share this and save it somehow. You can also save things as well. If you're in Facebook, you can actually save a broadcast. Let's see, the 3/4 is extra large gauge, and that is a US 13 to 15 needle, which is a 9mm to 10mm. And the appropriate yarn would be a US 6 weight to 7 weight yarn. UKAU is 12 ply and chunky, and it gets 1.5 to 3 stitches per inch. Versus if you use all the pegs, then we're gonna go down to small gauge, which is 4 to 5 stitches per inch, and it takes a US 2, 3, or 4 weight yarn. And then that's the small gauge there, which takes a US 5 to 8 needle. Now these ranges are because that's just how they've been categorized. I know it's quite a range in needles, but depending upon your tension and the type of stitch you use, you can be looser or tighter and achieve something similar to a needle pattern in a knitting loom. So that's why those ranges are there. So so say you want to do something that has a US 8 needle, you can be a little tighter. You can be looser on your stitches here, but if you want to go down to a 5 needle on the same one, you would just be tighter. Like say you want to use a flat stitch instead of a classic knit stitch, or an E-wrap. You could go an E-wrap if you're trying to go for an 8. So an E-wrap is going to be much looser. So that is a bunch of stitch talk here. So I hope I've answered your questions on this. I can't tell you how many pegs is this because I don't want to count it. I don't know if you heard that, but that said I don't want to count it. So I can't give you the peg count. You can look on her site and see if it has it on there. I can open the site up too and see. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to navigate on the site for you and show you a little bit. Oh, my thing went off here. So hold on. Punch in my password here. Okay, so this is the site. I love looming, I heart looming, but you just spell love, L-O-V-E. And welcome to I Love Looming. The sky's the limit. These are amazing. Multi-gauge looms, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so she mentions in here, so I just want to say this in case you're not quite reading this the way she intends it. She's talking about how consider 8 looms for just $368 Australian dollars each loom. Well, what she means is, like, say there's a 4-pack of looms, and then there's 2 different gauges you can use on the loom because you can pick the size, how many pegs you're going to put on. So it's like having 8 looms in a pack. So you're not really paying $368 per loom. Now, you can purchase looms individually, I believe. Let me click on it. I want to say she has them where you can purchase some individually. Okay, that's with the all by itself. Yes, you can. Okay, say you're like, I don't want all those other ones. I've only ever used this blue loom and that's all I want. Okay, then when you get on this page for that particular set, then you scroll down to the bottom. By the way, it tells you how many pegs and what the diameter is, what the circumference is. Yay. Go, PETA. Good job, girl. Okay, and then down here, if you just wanted that one, you can add to the cart. So it's like when you get this one, it's like having a 2-in-1, right? If you get the pack, it's like having 8-in-1. You know what I mean? But really, it's unlimited. Oops. It's really unlimited because you can space out the pegs differently if you want. Other things to consider. Let's see. What else do we have? what was I going to tell you? Okay. And she has a lot of these spacings in here. So she's got the center to center spacings written on here. The green, red, and blue looms have a standard 1.8, 1.6, and 1.6 centimeter 3/8 looms apart by like center peg to center peg apart by adding the extra pegs to the smaller gauges. If you go back up, the distance on the yellow loom is going to be a greater distance. So there's actually a different on the round loom set. Let me get the bag out again. As you know, if you have the 41 peg Nifty Knitter one, it's a different gauge size. So this will be slightly different here. And so she's got all that written on the website. Let's see what else I want to tell you. And then she's got, she's on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm having website issues. It's just taking a while. So hold on. Let me flip the camera and see if there's anything that you guys want to ask me. Oh, that light is bright. All right. You guys, if I missed your questions, you're welcome to type them in real quick here, but I will see. Thank you for that. Carol or Joanne was giving the website. Thank you. I'm going to go through some of these messages here. Oh, I'm getting notifications. Okay, how do you put in shipping method? You know what, let me log in. You know what, I think there was only one shipping method. And then I believe you can write to her, like there is a customer service thing. So like you can ask her your questions on the site for support. And that'll be there. Man, this is bright. Okay. Joanne, was that you who wrote that on there? She says Infinity Loom has 294 pegs. Wow. Yeah, that must be in the small gauge. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, you would use like a smaller weight yarn. Holy moly, 294. You guys. Allison says I love finding new loom knitting patterns and websites and sharing them. Yeah, who doesn't want new patterns? Yeah, Christy, if you see, Christy's on here, Christy Halsworth, she has a site on our Good Knit Kisses site. She's a pattern deal patrol, and she finds patterns. If you crochet or needle or loom knit, there's different categories on the site, and she has like all kinds of deals for patterns. So either free or on sale. Some of them expire super fast, some of them don't expire. Anyway, she's got it all categorized. So if you want to go on goodknitkisses.com, just look for pattern deal patrol or just write deal as a keyword, and then it'll find her article, and she updates that periodically. And anyway, so you can find some great links to patterns there as well. By the way, if you are a loom knitter and you like to convert or you want to know more about converting, just write convert in the search bar on goodknitkisses.com, and there is a chart, a free chart that you can see, and it shows you. So if you are converting from wrong side to right side to wrong side, you can see what's that opposite stitch, that magic word that you're looking for. Like, what stitch do I make when it says this weird thing? So on the wrong side of the work for loom knitters, we have to do the opposite. It's the same for needle knitters. If you're taking a flat knit that goes back and forth and then they have to make it into the round, so the same chart applies. So if you want to check that out, I suggest you go to goodknitkisses.com and type in the search bar convert, and you'll find that article there. Let's see, what else can I tell you? And it gives you some more information about center peg stuff too. Okay, loom gauge. That's another article that you want to look into. And loom gauge will tell you more about the yarn conversions and the needle conversions, and also how to measure your loom to learn more about that. What else can I tell you about I Love Looming? Okay, let me give you the example. Okay, so let me give you some real numbers here. So the Knit UK The set, the round set and the long set. Okay, so the round set was $16.99. The long set was $16.30, and I picked the cheapest shipping, which was $21. There was one that was a little bit more, and it was UPS. And then that was £54.29. That includes this is all price in pounds. Okay, and that includes the sets by themselves. I didn't buy a pack, a certain pack, but it includes the sets by themselves and that. Okay, then plus the exchange rate of $1.32 to US dollars. So it made it US dollars $71.66 for me to Texas. Then I Love Looming. Now it sounds like more, but it's actually not. It was $29.50 on Australian dollars for the same set, both of them. But when you take off that discounted for the tax rate for Australian, then they became $26.82 each kit times 2, and then plus the post on it was $27. So it made it $80.64 in Australian dollars. But then you have the conversion rate, which is 0.80. So rather than the pounds to US dollars, which is $1.32, we have only 0.80. Okay, so that's 20% less. So after the exchange rate, it was $64.51 US dollars. So I Love Looming was less than 65, and Knit UK was less than 72. And that's with the exchange rate conversion. That's with, with all that. So thank you for the link for Pattern Deal Patrol. I see that hopped in there. And the Loom conversion link. Thank you so much for adding those in. I've got my Good Knit Kisses admins hot on the trail there. Cassie, I'm great at math. Thank you. Well, I didn't do it in my head. I think Joanne could probably have done it in her head. I didn't have to add any tax rate for my state because I didn't have to do that. But yeah, I did. So I'm an interior design background, so I had to do a lot of math in school. But also for about 11 years, I put my interior design to work and worked for my father's floor covering business. And I had to calculate carpet and tile and wood and all kinds of stuff. And then how to make a margin on, go by a profit margin and not a percentage. So I did have to do a lot of math then. This one was a little simpler though. Anyway, it's just, I just want people in America to know, like when you go on her site, it doesn't say Australian dollars, and you see that dollar sign and you think, oh, that's American. No, it's not. So when you check out, once you check out, it converts it for you for your bank. So, oh, Joanne's got like one of those emojis with the eyeballs and says, math geek. She's wanting to herself. I love her. She's one of my favorite geeks. I can't say she's at my absolute favorite because I have some family that are math geeks too, and I love them. So anyway, I wanted to give you a good idea on that. Let me see if I can give you a little bit more information. She gave me some stuff. She said the long loom set is I can't even talk. I'm not even sure. I think I've covered all this without actually reading what she gave me. Customers outside of Australia were paid 10% less due to our tax system, so they do not have to pay. So what she did is, if you are in Australia, the U.S. tax, the Australian tax, and then the conversion rate from going from the U.K. to Australia is actually cost competitive. It doesn't seem like it, but once you put their conversion rate from the pound, it's, I forgot to write that down. Anybody want to do a quick conversion? What is the conversion rate of pounds to, going from, pounds to Australian dollars. Anyway, I would like to know, because our Aussies here would like to know when they wake up, because it's like 2 a.m. or something right now. I told her I would say, I've heard an Australian lady preach several times. Her name's Kristen Kane, and she says awesome. So I said I would say an Australian awesome for her. And they say cheek instead of chick. So hey, chick. Oh, because he says I'm not a math geek. Far from it. Tamby, my kids will think I'm nuts for buying another set, but I believe I will have to. Yeah, I mean, some of it just fills a need, and really, it's it's based on what do you need, what do you have, if you already have the Nifty Knitter set. And you're like, well, I don't want to buy this wooden set. Maybe it's too much to get the other brand. Maybe so. Check your rates. I just want you to know that there are multiple resources out there. You don't have to get every single one. Whatever works for you, whatever works for your family, whatever works for your budget. Don't buy everything at once. Thoughtfully, carefully think about it. I just want you to know that there are some conversion rates at play here. Okay, thank you for the conversion. Joanne says, oh yeah, okay, so Australian dollar 0.61 to British pounds. So they would take that price and yeah, so depending on which side of it you're on, you either do it times 0.61 or times 1.61. Yeah. So yeah. So if you're in Australia and you're pricing out the price from the UK, you need to do it different than if you're pricing it from the US, obviously. Anyway, I didn't work out all that math in the beginning. I really should have, sorry. But she's got the conversion rate on there, so there we go. Joanne would have to tell me and do it because I don't have a calculator in front of me. Hello, Seattle. Where do you get the one loom? You can get the one loom by going to ilovelooming.com and find the loom that you want. And they were $8.50. So you have to do less. It's like less 10%, and then it's less another 20% whenever the exchange rate happens. So that first 10% is the Australian tax rate that you will not get if you were outside of Australia. Anyway, next week, you guys, if you're loom knitters and you join me late and you're still here, I want to tell you that we have the stitch along coming up. Yes, it is for needles, but if you're a loom knitter, Joanne Gay, our very own Joanne Gay here on staff at Good Knit Kisses, she is going to be converting, and then any information she gives to me, I'm going to show you on camera on how to convert that, and we're going to be working it out together. I'm probably not going to do like a whole big blanket in that. I'm probably just going to show you how to do the individual thing. Melissa says, math, my head hurts. Okay, I'm going to stop with the math. We're not doing math right now. Anyway, but the conversion for the stitch along for Bernat blanket stitch along starts Monday, and we've got needle knitters and some people are loom knitters, and I don't know which loom yet. Joanne and I are going to chat about that. So yeah, that starts Monday. I would love to have you. I'd love to have more loom knitters representing, right? Be sure and rewind this whenever I post it. Be sure and watch the replay. We will have this head on over to YouTube, so it will be available later. I do want to answer a question real quick. Am I going to be going on any more missions ever? Pamela asks. I personally am not going, but there's a mission happening in October going to India. And I want to send over like some friendship bracelets, some, because I won't be able to send over a bunch of scarves and stuff because they can fit friendship bracelets. So if anybody wants to join me in giving them, they're going to be loving and caring on people who were recently rescued from the human trafficking, slave trafficking industry. It's really a horrible, horrible thing, and they're just going to be loving on and ministering to women and children and some men who were trafficked. So anyway, if you want to send any, I've got a video my daughter had she had made, I just haven't edited yet, on friendship bracelets, and we just use cotton yarn. But if you want to send any, you're welcome to go ahead and start making and sending, and I'll just take them. They leave in October. I don't know the date at this moment. I'd have to go look, but I know it's October. So if you want to send any to P.O. Box 90, so P.O. Box 90, and it's in Keller, Kellerer, Texas, TX 76244. Okay, and that's in the US. Just send it to Good Knit Kisses, or you can say Kristen Mangus. That's fine too. That actually goes to my P.O. box. And just drop me a message in the messenger here, just saying, hey, I sent you friendship bracelets for missions. If you want to say attention or SM for side mark mission, then I'll know what that's for. If you are sending things for Embrace Grace, you can say side mark Embrace Grace or EM. That's that thing that I give to, and we give new blankets, handmade blankets and hats and baby items to new moms who are struggling and find themselves alone in this. And we give them equipping for about 12 weeks and then celebrate them in a big old baby shower at the end of all that. So that is what that is. So anyway, I hope that helps. 1 week till the stitch along starts. I'm excited. You guys have a great day and happy knitting and crochet. Bye, everyone.